60 Cycle Hum features a mix of products that were purchased or provided and content that is a mix of sponsored, paid, unpaid, and Patreon funded. Use your eyes, ears, and common sense to come to your own conclusions.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm going to guide you through the Whimsy Machine's King Spark. This is technically a tube screamer. Like, that's the drive circuit that it is, but it brings so much into the mix. I don't think you can think about it in those terms anymore. Just the fact that it has 3-band EQ makes it so much more versatile than a normal run-of-the-mill tube screamer. But then on top of that, you might have noticed in that little intro jam, this sort of stuff. It has what the manual calls a tunable positive feedback. That's the sort of stuff that I expect to find in crazy out there fuzzes. Not in tube screamers. It's a bunch of fun, and it makes it probably the most dangerous tube screamer that there's ever been, at least that I've ever tried. So anyways, let's get into it. I want to show off what it does. Before I get started, by law, I have to show you my clean tone. If I don't show you my clean tone, I can actually be subject to fine or removal from the Guitar YouTuber Union. And I don't want that. You don't want that. Maybe you do want that. There you go. There's my clean tone. Now you know. Here is the King Spark on its current setting. It sounds like a tube screamer until you start doing stuff like this. Also, you might have noticed that I'm doing all that with expression pedals. What other tube screamer has jacks for 2 expression pedals at the same time? I'm going to remove those expression pedals for the time being, just so you can see exactly what's going on with the knobs. So that little red ho-tone expression pedal is controlling the level knob here, and the big black Moog, I always second guess how to pronounce it. I think it's Moog. That big black Moog expression pedal was controlling the frequency knob. Let's just turn it on and dial in those sounds so you can see what's happening. Without the expression pedal controlled, it might seem like something that's kind of useless, but I find that dialing in just like the edge of where that like droning, high-pitched sort of self-oscillation is happening can be really exciting, and like an extra layer of like harmonic dirt that you don't normally get out of something like a tube screamer. Versus all the way off. Like that sounds like a pretty safe drive. But right there on the edge of that, there's this little bit of nasal edge of feedback, like danger and a sense of unease that comes in when you have it just on the edge of that. Let's bring up the gain on the drive circuit. Like you can hear it chirping in and out with playing dynamics. And if you tune this to be like the exact note that you want to chirp in and out, it can be really fun and honestly pretty musical. It's the most fuzz-like tube screamer I've ever messed with. I'm surprised all the dogs in the neighborhood aren't going nuts right now, that it's so high-pitched. Some Atari sounds there. I love that glitchiness. let's pull that out. Mess around with a more normal sound. In air quotes. All sounds are normal if you do them enough, right? I really do like that weird, like, harmonic edginess you get with that level control, just kind of hugging the edge of those noises. The way you get that little whack in between notes, that's just fun. I never would have expected to hear that from a tube screamer. Tube screamer purists are probably going to be pissed off by this thing, but folks like me that like to get noisy and experimental and obnoxious and flirt on the edge of like synth sounds and stuff like that, this is fun. This is exciting stuff. Let's do the safe stuff so I can explore the range of that 3-band EQ and the drive knob and whatnot. Let's start off by seeing if I can replicate the sound that I get from this actual tube screamer here. I have a feeling it will get kind of close, but then not exactly the same as this modified TS9 here. Yeah, I already know that I like the King Spark a lot better. I'm honestly not a tube screamer guy at all. I keep this one around pretty much only because I use it as a reference point against other tube screamer pedals. I almost never use that sound when I'm playing for my own personal enjoyment or my own projects. But this is much more my flavor. Anyways, let's see if I can get close to matching the tonality and the drive character of that TS9. It is a modified TS9, by the way. It's got a Keeley Mod Plus mod on it. Not that that changes the character of it too much. I think it's more of like an EQ and gain sort of shift. We'll start by pulling all the highs out. Sounds like too much drive. That sounds kind of like a tube screamer. No, that's got that bright mid-hump quack to it. That might be closer. So far it doesn't sound the same, but I think it sounds better. It sounds more clear, more defined. The grit is looser. I like a nice, loose, kind of crispy grit. I bet if I sat here with tweezers and really spent the time, I could get it a lot closer. You can hear that this has, you know, a core element of a tube screamer in it, but it's been modified so much that I like it. Congratulations, Whimsy Machines. You made a tube screamer that I actually like. My main issue with tube screamers is probably that they're meant to hit really hot tube amps. Tube screamers don't sound like screaming tubes. They make your tube scream. That's where the name comes from. You're supposed to use them to push your amp. And in that application, they're very useful and they're actually really, really great. But I almost never do that. I almost never have an amp that's pushed into overdrive. I'm a clean amp boy. So something like this that's more tweakable and I can dial it in and find the sounds that I want is going to be much more appealing to someone like me. Let's check out the extreme range of each knob here. The drive all the way up. It gets so fuzzy for a tube screamer. I love that. It's pretty damn transparent. That's nice. Adds just a little bit of sparkly grit on there. All right, let's put it kind of middle of the road there and we'll check out the range of all the EQ knobs. Let's bring everything down. Everything off. There it is. There's your secret sound. People are pulling the trigger right now because they love the sound of the EQ all the way off. Dime the high. '90s kids know what I'm doing. All right, now I'll try just the mids. Add in some highs and that might be the tube screamer sound right there. Now nothing but lows. Let's see what that sounds like. It's got a lot of low end. I'm gonna have to try it with the baritone. This might be the right tube screamer for bass players. Scoop the mids. Mid scoop tube screamer. Here we go. I bet those lows are clipping the limiter right now. A mid scoop is like the exact opposite of what a tube screamer is supposed to be. I think it's got more than enough low end on tap across that knob. I keep it pretty low. And the highs can get pretty crispy too. When I want crispy, I turn them up. When I want a more traditional kind of smooth overdrive sound, obviously I've got to bring them down quite a bit. It's like there's a little shelf right there that's the edge between a smooth tube screamer like style overdrive and like a bright crispy overdrive. The manual also says that there is a control inside to affect the bypass, whether you're doing a true bypass or a JFET buffered bypass. I never think about that stuff. I never care about this stuff. I almost never get accused of not having enough high end in my signal. So I never really worry about buffers all that much. I probably should. I should probably learn about buffers and worry about them a little bit here and there. But anyways, what do you guys think? A really super tweakable version of a tube screamer that, in my opinion, is not really a tube screamer at all. Once you do all this stuff to it, it's become its own thing. And maybe I'm just saying that because I actually like it. And for the noisemakers out there, the experimental folks, the folks that like to piss off their neighbors or close out a set with theremin sounds, you know I love that. That's the first thing I do every time I turn on a delay is I start racking the time knob. It's like, it's an overdrive that lets me make spaceship noises. You know I love it. You know I just love that. It's kind of the fuzz factory of tube screamers, if you think about it, without oscillation. If you're very gentle with it, you can get it to sit right on a note. I'm watching my strobe tuner down here on the floor, and I dialed in right on A. Let's bring an expression pedal back in. I think the most useful setup is to kind of set and forget a pitch on that. I think the most useful setup is to set and forget a pitch across that frequency knob, and then use this to bring in that oscillation with the level control expression. By the way, I've used a bunch of expression pedals over the years. The Moog, however you pronounce it, is flat out my favorite. It's the one that I would recommend over all others that I've tried. It just works with everything I've ever used it with. It has the standard and other switch on the bottom that makes it work with the vast majority of products out there. And it has a really nice little knob here tucked into the side that allows you to adjust the toe position, the toe value. It's bulky, it's plastic, but it's really rugged, and I really like the actual physical throw of it. It has a really nice wide physical throw that's nice and smooth. This is an endorsement inside of a demo for something kind of unrelated, but yeah, this is the one I recommend. They're not expensive either. So anyways, what do you guys think of the King Spark? I'm looking forward to reading the comments. I think all the noisemakers out there are going to be excited about this. All the shoegazy experimental types. You know that you want to mess around with this. This is your jam. I know that because it's my jam. Everyone else, Folks that like regular tube screamers, do you feel threatened right now? Is this too dangerous for you? Oh no, it's not what Stevie Ray Vaughan would use. Oh no. That's why I like it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments, support us on Patreon, and stay grounded. Bye, everybody.